Hi everybody, I'm Bill Sanders and this is Watch Art Sci, the art and science of watch collection. Today what we're going to do is take a look at some pairs of Vacheron Constantin and Patek Philippe watches and just talk about them. Before we get started, a couple things. A number of years ago, Patek Philippe had some kind of beef with the Geneva Seal people, and they said, "The heck with you, we don't want your Geneva Seal. We care less. We're going to have our own Patek Philippe seal," which is sort of a little silly. It's sort of like something, some seal of approval by some agency outside of the manufacturer. But since Patek Philippe said, "Well, we're really good enough to give ourselves our own seal," to me, it would have been better just to forget the seal. Other brands like FP Journe, they don't bother with a Geneva seal, and they're right downtown Geneva, so they could do it if they wanted, but that's the way it is. On the other hand, Vacheron Constantin, all of the ones we're going to look at today all have the Geneva seal. So we're really dealing with a number of things with these two horological giants, I'll say, in watchmaking. So that's one thing. The other thing is that silicon is used in the Patek Philippe. They started using it, I don't know, about 10 years ago or somewhat like that. They put them in their escapements and their balances, and it's something I don't think that these kinds of watches should have silicon. On the other hand, Vacheron Constantin doesn't use them yet, but there's a lot of rumblings because of the huge advantages of silicon in terms of being non-magnetic, and also they withstand heat and so forth. The downside is certain collectors like myself, and also some watchmakers, like Roger Smith, for example, think that the traditional kinds of metals should be used in these kinds of watches. Plus the fact that with silicon, you can't get a watchmaker can't adjust it. Right now, if I go into a watch with a regulator and a toothpick, I can make little changes for regulation, but you can't regulate anything. Watchmaker can't using silicon. So that's my beef with them. But like I said, this may be spitting in the wind on my part because more and more watch companies are beginning to use it. Okay, so let's take a look at what we've got here. The first two is going to take a look at luxury sports watches, and the two iconic ones are the Patek Philippe Nautilus and the Vacheron Constantin overseas. Interestingly, right now you can't get either one of them. I called Vacheron Constantin a while back, and they said, you know, we have a waiting list. Nautilus also has a waiting list. Also, they came out with a green one. So they're both stainless steel. The Patek Philippe is $34,890, and the Vacheron Constantin is $22,500. They're both 4 hertz automatic. The caliber 5100 is a really outstanding caliber. This was developed by Vacheron Constantin, particularly for the overseas, and it's really gone through a transformation. On the other hand, Nautilus, beautiful watch, be a wonderful one to have. Now, these next two, probably the most almost stereotypical men's luxury formal watch is the Calatrava. Now, the Calatrava comes in a lot of different flavors, and the one that I recently sold an older one I had, looked almost exactly like the Patrimony. They're hand wound, both of these are hand wound. And the difference here is that they're both, one's 39 millimeters, the other one's 40. Patek Philippe makes others that look very much like the Patrimony, except they have small seconds at 6 o'clock. Otherwise, they're almost identical. Now, the big difference is there's almost a $10,000 difference in the price. And the Patrimony, I think, to me, is that for sort of a very formal watch, this does the job. A lot of people don't like the fact that it doesn't have some kind of second hand because you don't know whether it's working or not. So that's one of the things. But both of these are examples of what the Calatrava with the hobnail. And the other ones, like I said, they have other ones that look a lot like this. And some of them, in fact, they even have some that are automatic. But of these, of the two, I'd probably go with the Vacheron Constantin. I really like the looks of that. And it was because they had a Patek Philippe that looked a lot like that. Now, these two are world timers. And in looking at them, I was looking at both of them, and I really do like the Patek Philippe better of these two. The one on the overseas world time, the dial looks a little crowded. I do like the idea of a stainless steel for a travel watch over a gold one, but I chose the white gold one. You're going to travel, you can't tell the difference between white gold and stainless steel and platinum for the most part. And this one I like, the Patek Philippe on this. The interesting thing, it's one of the few watches that Patek Philippe has that's 3 hertz, and I really like that a lot. And it's 38.5, that's fine for a size. And the Vacheron Constantin is a pretty big watch. It's 43.5 in stainless steel. Like them both, but I think of the choice of these two, I like the Patek Philippe better. I like the price of the overseas better, though. Okay, moving right along. Now, here are a couple watches for perpetual calendars, and they're very expensive. The Vacheron Constantin is $84,000, and the Patek Philippe is $92,000. The thing about the Vacheron Constantin that I like very, very much is the slower hertz. They got 2.75 hertz. That's a nice slow movement that I happen to like. The Patrimony Perpetual Calendar Ultra Thin, it's another nice feature about it. 41 millimeters in pink gold. Really like it, nice and clean, and for a Perpetual Calendar. Now the Patek Philippe is, I like this one too. I like the way it's set up and everything. And the hand date down at 6 o'clock, and to the left and right of it, you can see the little windows for telling you which quarter it is, and so when you get ready for leap year. Okay, so these are both of them. I like both of them. Again, their prices are way over what I could ever afford, I think. But it's the kind of thing, the Patek Philippe is a lot more informal, and the Vacheron Constantin is a little more formal. I think in this case, I like the Vacheron Constantin a little better, but not much. I like them both. Here are two watches I can't afford. Both of them sort of neck and neck on those two. Now this next two, this is for chronographs. I'm not a chronograph fan. I probably said that too much, but I'm not. And here are two chronographs that I like for a lot of reasons. First of all, the 5968 Aquanaut chronograph I like a lot because it's got such a clean dial. The orange hands are the ones for the chronograph. So when you have the second, and then you have the minute down below. Well, the minute is also for an hour, but I don't think most of the kinds of timing you do with a chronograph you need the hour for. Seconds and minutes is generally all you need. The dial is as clean as a whistle. I really like that. Now, on the Vacheron Constantin, Historiques Cornes de Vaca, here the lugs are the horns of the cow. This one is really a delight. And it's a 3 hertz, which like I mentioned before, I really like lower hertz. The prices on these aren't too terribly different. One is $49,680, very much of a sports watch. The other is $43,300. It would be, I don't think it'd be a sports watch. We're just talking about chronograph to chronograph. That would be more of something for either a formal office watch or even a formal watch of some sort. But like I said, I don't generally care for chronographs, but these are two, and they're both very clean dials, so I like them both for that. Now, this final one is these are simply watches that have certain unique features to it. First of all, the Vacheron Constantin Historiques America 1921. That watch is incredibly popular. It's got a manual wind, 4400, 4 hertz, and you wind this thing all day long. But it's a lovely watch, big hunk of gold. It's offset. It was set up for a driver's watch kind of thing. But this watch is one that just a nice, unique watch. Anybody who sees one knows right away it's the Vacheron Constantin. Now, the Patek Philippe is one. By the way, too, the Vacheron, what I call the 21, is 40 millimeters in pink gold. The Patek Philippe Calatrava weekly calendar is 40 millimeters in steel. The reason I like this watch so much, first of all, I like the dial, the clarity of the dial. I like the little hand date that they have on it. And it's the way this is set up is there was like a draft of the dial, and someone using, I don't know what, some kind of little pen, they did it and they set it up, and they did such a neat, cool looking job that they said, why don't we just use this? Why don't we just use that on there? I love it. I think it's for a weekly calendar, to me, I suppose this has got a weekly calendar on it, Monday through Sunday on it. But this one is one I really happen to like a lot. Again, it's 4 hertz. All of them are 4 hertz. And the Vacheron Constantin has the Geneva seal, and then the Calatrava weekly calendar has the Patek Philippe seal. Anyway, those are some comparisons, and I think a lot of people assume that, well, Patek Philippe's are always better, and they might be in terms of what people want, but I think when you really pull them side by side, they each have advantages and disadvantages, and I generally like both of them. I told you why certain things that I don't like about them, but it's an interesting choice for collectors, and I think they're a lot. The nice thing about both of them, they got a lot of different models, and unfortunately, they're both very expensive. Let me know what you think, and this is an invitation to subscribe if you like. Until next time, this is Bill Sanders for Watch Art Side, the art and science of watch collection.